Hi, I'd like to show you some of the features available in Metronomics Pro. Metronomics Pro is an upgrade that's available as an in-app purchase within Metronomics from the settings page. I've already done the upgrade, so mine says subscription, but yours may say upgrade if you haven't done that yet. The first feature that I'd like to show you is the new theme option. And by default, it's in light mode, but I can switch it to dark mode, and you can see it has this great new appearance with a dark background, which is really useful if you're using Metronomics on stage and you don't want that bright screen glaring back at you. The next feature that I'd like to show you is also on the settings page. I'm going to scroll down to the bottom where there are 3 different export options. The first one has always been available, and that's the ability to export metronomes in Metronomics' default metronome file format. In Metronomics Pro, there are 2 more options, including Export Audio and Export MIDI. Export Audio will export an audio file that you can send to someone that doesn't have access to Metronomics or send to yourself and use in another program as a loop, say. And Export MIDI does the same thing, except instead of an audio file, it sends a MIDI file. Next, I'll show you Inspector mode. The Inspector mode will allow you to visualize the waveform of your playing alongside a graph of what the metronome is playing. So I'm going to start the metronome here, and right now you can see that it's graphing me speaking, but I'm going to clap a couple times and you can see what that looks like. So this can be a really handy tool to analyze your playing because, as you can see, there are lines for bars and beats, and you can see your playing graphed alongside that, and you can try to determine how in time you've been playing. Now, back on the main screen, I'd like to show you the option for using MIDI subdivisions. Normally, subdivisions just play samples that are built into Metronomics, but if I click the subdivision options with Metronomics Pro, I can also choose to use a MIDI subdivision. Once I've done that, you can see there's a new option for a MIDI sequencer, and if I tap on that, I get a keyboard and some options for how those MIDI notes are played. Rather than go through everything right here, I'll do that in another video, and I'll just show you something that I've made already. So these are 2 MIDI subdivisions. You can tell they're MIDI because of the green circle around the icon, and I'll play it for a second. This gives you some great new options for using Metronomics as a practice tool. Besides MIDI subdivisions, you can also use your own custom samples that you can import into Metronomics. The last feature that I'd like to show you in this video is the ability to use custom time signature denominators. So I'm going to go to the saved screen and reload my default metronome. Now from there, I'm going to tap the time signature, which gives me options for common time signatures as well as a custom time signature. And from there, I'm going to add a segment of 5/5. Now let's talk about what that means. We know that a bar of 4/4 is 4 quarter notes, where each quarter note is the beat. A bar of 8/8 is 8/8 notes, where the 8th note is the beat, and it takes the same amount of time as a bar of 4/4. So using that same logic, a bar of 5/5 is 5/5 notes, we'll call them, and it'll take the same amount of time as a bar of 4/4. It sounds like this. And you can see that the quarter notes still line up. But of course, I don't have to have a time signature where the numerator and denominator are the same. So I'm going to add another segment of 3/7. So using this, you can come up with some pretty crazy time signature stuff. These are just a few of the features that are available in Metronomics Pro.